Sarawak demands autonomy in education. 363 dilapidated schools restored in Sarawak. Sarawak exports energy to Kalimantan with an average of 89.6 megawatt. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. I'm SARAWAK Mansoor and this is TVS Nightline. In line with Sarawak's aspiration to become Southeast Asia's energy powerhouse by 2030, the state has begun to export energy since 2016 to Kalimantan via Sarawak Energy Berhad SEB. According to Dato' Julaihi Narawi, the Minister of Utility and Telecommunication, the average energy demand from Kalimantan stands at 89.6 megawatts. Additionally, Sarawak will also be supplying energy to Sabah beginning in 2024.
Selain itu, pembekalan elektrik sebanyak 30 megawatt ke Sabah Electricity Sinar Berhad SESB adalah disasarkan pada tahun 2024 bergantung kepada siapnya projek Northern Grid Extension seperti yang telah saya sebutkan tadi. Bekalan elektrik ke Sabah masih lagi dalam peringkat rundingan komersial.
Julaihi told the August House in his winding-up speech on Tuesday. He added the total energy exported by Sarawak is only utilizing 2% of its full capacity of 5,996 megawatts. Sarawak's current energy usage currently stands at 4,398 megawatts.
Ini bermakna kita masih mempunyai baki sebanyak 1,478 megawatt yang mencukupi untuk kegunaan dan keperluan dalam negeri Sarawak, termasuk penyambungan di bawah skim ALAF yang sedang dan masih dilaksanakan sekarang.
A total of 363 dilapidated schools in Sarawak have been repaired as of today, November 29th. Minister of Education, Innovation and Talent Development Sarawak, Dato' Roland Sagahwiin said, however, about 600 more are still undergoing repair works, while some are still on the Public Work Department's PWD drawing board.
So some are still under JKR's drawing board. I would say drawing board. It has not been tendered because they are looking at the various facilities that need to be repaired, yang perlu dibaiki, dan ada juga oleh kerana mereka di kawasan yang berkaitan memilih untuk memindah, especially di tempat yang kena banjir. So of course that one will take quite some time because when you pindah, you need the new location, then we have to involve other agencies, getting land survey and all that, and the federal treasury would require it to be under the federal land commissioner and all that. So those are matters, bureaucratic matters, which can cause a bit of delay.
He said this to reporters during a press conference after delivering his ministerial winding-up speech at the Sarawak State Legislative Assembly sitting on Tuesday, November 29th. Now, earlier in his winding-up speech, Saga said even though education falls under the jurisdiction of the federal government, the Sarawak government, being a responsible government, has always placed top priority for matters on education. At the same time, he said his ministry will ensure matters related to dilapidated schools are brought to the attention for immediate consideration by the Ministry of Education, MOE, and the ministry to continue to pursue the matters until they are resolved.
Minister of Education, Innovation and Talent Development, Dato' Roland Sagahwiin, has called upon the unity government to consider granting Sarawak autonomy over education, while asserting that the autonomy should include matters of policy and execution.
We pray that Sarawak will be given due consideration for autonomy over education, the aspirations of all Sarawakians. The autonomy so granted shall include matters of policy and execution. However, the federal government shall continue to provide required funding.
He said this in his winding-up speech at the State Legislative Assembly Dun sitting on Tuesday, November 29th. At the same time, he congratulated Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim on his appointment as the country's 10th Prime Minister.
Before I conclude, on behalf of the Badiah community, I wish to congratulate the Right Honourable Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim on his appointment as the 10th Prime Minister of Malaysia. We look forward to working together with the federal government.
Customary marriage pre-registration applications can be submitted through the Native Marriage Electronic System NAMES platform starting 2023. Minister in the Premier's Department, Dato John Sikitayai, said this follows the government's effort to redevelop the Native Marriage Electronic System through the ICT project of the 12th Malaysia Plan, 12MP.
Native Marriage Electronic System, or NAM, is one of the three systems that register marriages and divorce in Sarawak. It was developed in 2010 in an effort to centralize the registration and issuance of adult marriage and adult divorce certificates. It was deployed throughout Sarawak in 2012, and its currently users consist of 45 district officers and 21 sub-district officers statewide.
Adding further, he said that NAMES services will also be integrated with the relevant government agency systems to improve interoperability and data verification operations. He said this in his winding-up speech at the State Legislative Assembly Dun sitting on Tuesday, November 29th.
Airlines are urged to offer affordable flight tickets to Sarawak for the upcoming festivities. Transport Ministry has also written to all airlines pertaining to the matter and Malaysian Aviation Commission, MAVCOM.
For the coming festive season, including school holiday and Chinese New Year 2023, my ministry has written to all the airlines and MAVCOM to ensure that the airfares are affordable for people, especially students, and those wishing to visit their family members during the festive season in Sarawak or West Malaysia. However, we will encourage all our potential travellers to plan their journey ahead and book their flights early to get the promotional and discounted airfares.
He said this when delivering his winding-up speech at the State Legislative Assembly Dun sitting earlier today. Lee also informed the August House that as of January until September, a total number of 88,979 aircraft and 6,013,068 passenger movement was recorded in all Sarawak airports. Most of the flights and passengers, he said, came from Kuala Lumpur, Kota Kinabalu, Johor Bahru, Penang, Kota Baru, Labuan, Brunei Darussalam, and Singapore.
Meanwhile, employers are urged to prioritize on hiring local workers before diversifying their option on opting foreign workers in Sarawak's job sector. Minister in the Sarawak Premier's Department, Dato John Sikitayai, wants locals to have an equal employment opportunity in line with post-COVID-19 Development Strategy 2030 and encourage the involvement of locals in the labour market.
Kerajaan Sarawak membenarkan penglibatan dan pengajian pekerja asing bagi ekspatriat, pekerja mahir atau separa mahir dan pekerja am untuk bekerja di Sarawak dengan syarat hanya pekerjaan dengan kemahiran tidak tersedia dalam Sarawak saja ditawarkan kepada pekerja asing.
He said this during a State Legislative Assembly meeting on Tuesday. Meanwhile, John Siki also urged employers to advertise job openings in the SOXO-owned My Future Jobs portal in newspapers and local radio stations. This would open up the way to locals first before foreigners are considered by employers. He said the existing policies of the Sarawak government will always prioritize job opportunities for locals, even in industries with high foreign workforce demand.
Domestic, commercial and industrial users can now apply to generate their own electricity under the Net Energy Metering Scheme NEM in Sarawak. Minister of Utility and Telecommunications, Dato' Julaihi Norawi, said the scheme will provide opportunities for users to play a part in nature conservation as well as combat climate change.
Setakat ini, 2 pengguna di bawah skim NEM telah beroperasi, manakala 3 lagi permohonan masih dalam proses kelulusan. Saya menyeru kepada semua ahli-ahli yang berhormat, termasuk yang berhormat Tuan Speaker, untuk sama-sama mengambil bahagian dalam program NEM ini. Dan pada masa yang sama, saya menyeru kepada rakan-rakan ahli yang berhormat supaya mewar-warkan program ini kepada pengguna domestik di kawasan DUN masing-masing.
He said this in his ministry's winding up speech at the State Legislative Assembly in Kuching today. In the meantime, he added that applications can be made at Sarawak Energy customer service counters.
Coming up right after the break, Anwar prohibits procurement of projects without tender, and international news, British President Rishi Sunak said no more golden era with China. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back on Nightline. Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim has stressed that approvals for government procurements under his leadership can no longer be conducted without tender. Speaking at a gathering with the staff of the Prime Minister's department earlier today, Anwar said the government under his leadership could not continue to allow leakages and corruption.
Soal kelulusan tanpa tender ini semua tak boleh lagi dah. Tidak boleh lagi negara ini terus dengan mengizinkan kebocoran, ketirisan dan rasuah. Tidak boleh lagi. Dan ini harus berlaku di semua peringkat. Maka untuk peringkat awal ini saya ingin mengajak saudara untuk sama-sama dalam pasukan ini. Mari kita bertekad untuk menyelamatkan negara kita, mengangkat semula. Hidup rakyat ini umumnya, walaupun tidaklah separah beberapa negara lain, tetapi dalam keadaan yang agak sukar.
The Prime Minister said when he was in charge of the Ministry of Finance, he had given instructions not to allow his family members or close friends to have interest in government-related projects. Anwar, who was sworn in as the Prime Minister last November 24th, said he was not interested in digging the problems of the previous government, but to focus on working to improve the people's lives. Also present at the gathering were Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, and Attorney General Tan Sri Idrus Harun.
Responding to the announcement by the Prime Minister, fellow at the Institution of Malay Rulers Chair of University Technology MARA, Mujibu Abdul Muiz, lauded the move, saying that such move should be taken up and cultured in the new government administration to ensure an authorised, clean and corruption-free pattern of leadership.
Saya berpandangan hal ini perlu berlaku memandangkan naratif kerajaan perpaduan yang diketuai oleh Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim sebagai Perdana Menteri mahukan sebuah kabinet yang berwibawa, bersih dan bebas rasuah. Maka sudah tentu perkara-perkara yang berkait rapat dengan perolehan dalam perbelanjaan kerajaan ini harus menjadi telus dan boleh dilihat oleh semua pihak.
Mujibu also viewed that the measure will be able to restore the confidence of the people and foreign investors toward the new government.
Bagi memastikan keyakinan rakyat bahawa kerajaan perpaduan ini benar-benar embrace kepada reformasi takbir urus yang baik ataupun good governance, tapi dalam masa yang sama juga ini bagus untuk menanam keyakinan kepada pelabur asing dan juga keyakinan terhadap integriti dalam setiap urus niaga yang berlaku dengan kerajaan kita.
He said this when contacted by TVS on Tuesday, following the Prime Minister's statement that no more approval of procurement without tender will occur in his administration.
Civil servants will be firm and committed to implement the reform agenda brought by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim in the interest of the people and country. The Chief Secretary to the government, Tan Sri Muhammad Zuki Ali, in a post on his official Facebook today said he and his colleagues in the public service will carry out the reform agenda, which is a change for the benefit of the country.
He also shared pictures of the Prime Minister's address session with the Secretaries General and heads of services at the Implementation Coordination Unit of the Prime Minister's Department. Meanwhile, Anwar Ibrahim earlier today called on civil servants to work closely with government leadership in order to restore its former glory.
Sistem tunggak perkhidmatan itu kekal. Tapi dengan maksud ada minat untuk selalu mengangkat martabat insan, martabat perkhidmatan. Kalau ditanyakan doa Nabi Allah Shu'aib AS yang selalu saya ungkapkan, in uridu illa al-islah mastata'tu. Tidak ada upaya aku selain daripada bekerja dan berkhidmat untuk membawa perubahan, islah dengan sebaiknya.
He added that reform is the first step for a nation that needs change, as the country has previously reached the stars but unfortunately worsened in its economy and stability.
Kerajaan silih berganti, Perdana Menteri atau pimpinan juga silih berganti. Tetapi pejabat awam sebagai tunggak mentadbir, mengurus itu kekal dengan maksud mengangkat satu sistem dengan peraturan. Negara yang tegak dengan hukum. Dan negara hukum dan peraturan ini mengandaikan wujudnya suatu sistem perkhidmatan awam yang cekap dan cekal.
He further said that based on his experience as finance minister, he could not succeed without a solid public sector.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has announced the so-called end of golden era relations with China. Sunak justifies this move by stating Beijing's systemic challenge to Britain's interests and values as the country moves towards an even greater authoritarianism.
Now, let's be clear, the so-called golden era is over, along with the naive idea that trade would automatically lead to social and political reform. But nor should we rely on simplistic Cold War rhetoric.
The statement by Sunak followed London's ban on Chinese-made security cameras from sensitive government buildings. Touching on the war between Ukraine and Russia, Sunak stood in solidarity with his predecessor's decision to provide strong support for Ukraine.
As the world comes together to watch the World Cup, I saw how an explosive device had been hidden inside a child's football, seeking to make it a weapon of war. It defies belief. So be in no doubt we will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Britain has been the second largest military donor to Ukraine, providing a total of $2.8 billion of aid in 2022.
Now, what will be in on those vying for the crown of Getaran Jiwa? Don't forget to catch the next episode of TVS new reality program, Getaran Jiwa, every Friday, beginning with the Debaran Jiwa capsule at 7:30 p.m., followed by Getaran Jiwa live concert at 8:45 p.m. The public is also invited to watch the concert at MBKS Stadium, Bintawa. For more information, follow Getaran Jiwa official Facebook page and Instagram. See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news update both locally and internationally. Just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. That is all the time we have for TVS Nightline. I'm Shira Abang Mansor. Thank you for watching.
Bom dalam daerah kecil Engkerili di Seri Aman, ia juga merupakan salah satu tarikan pelancongan di negeri ini.